Hello everyone, this is Davy the Entertainer, back from the drudgery of schoolwork during the fall 2011 semester. Tonight is the 21st of October, as this video is dated, so just to let you know that, because I might do a little tweaks on this video clip before I set it on YouTube. I'm kind of a neatnik, so yeah, videos do take a little bit of a while to generate on my YouTube channel. Well, today we're on a new topic here. I just got back from listening to a very well-known cantor by the name of Joe Simmons. It says here in this program that he is the principal cantor at the Church of St. John the Baptist in NYC. It also said that he also sang for the Papal Mass at Yankee Stadium in 2008 when the current Pope Benedict XVI held Mass there. I wasn't there, so this is just a little bit of background info about this singer. Now, when I first heard about this spiritual concert, my line of thought was basically this: it's just gonna be another average singer. I mean, I've heard a lot of people singing the psalms and so forth, and all these church hymns. It's a little bit ordinary. Thank God I was wrong. There are no words. This guy could sing beautifully. Actually, I wouldn't even call it beautiful. To me, it's a description that you would use for lady singers. My accurate description would be that his voice could resonate a lot better than most people's. I mean, this is saying. I mean, it could still resonate even without the microphone. I mean, the microphone helps amplify the sounds. But even if you took the microphone off, I mean, it could be sung beautifully. I also noticed a very curious aspect of how Mr. Joe Simmons performed. He was able to sing his songs in a way that he was talking to the audience. I mean, literally talking to the audience, rather than just simply look at the songbook and go like this. How can I keep from singing? Like what most of the congregation would usually do. Because, a lot of the hymns are wordy. He was able to be expressive with the audience. And this was an aspect that I learned in my communications course at Germannic Community College. A part of being a public speaker is being able to make eye contact with your audience. This is a little bit of a struggle for me too, since in my past video lectures I had the tendency to look at a script. Here I'm literally talking to you ad lib, without a script. So Mr. Simmons was able to perform his songs in a way that was very conversational to the audience, like he was literally talking to you, and it was performed while he was walking a little bit sideways, but the way he sung felt like he was talking to us. It could almost I would even go so far as to say it felt like he was talking to me too, personally. And that is the whole beauty of his performance. It shows that he was able to connect with his audience. You would not be, if you were on stage, you would not be able to connect with your audience if you constantly had to look at your draft. I suspect that a key element with what Mr. Simmons was able to do was that he probably had to memorize the song. And not only that, he had to he had to be very fluent with the art of musical expression in terms of the voice aspect and the way he projected it. I would even say that I would even go so far as to say that Mr. Simmons talked to us while he sang, as he sang. While we're still on this topic, I'm going to delve a little regarding the projection of his voice. His voice was very crystal clear, as was his enunciation, which was the key to allowing the audience to understand the material, for the most part, of what he was trying to convey to us in song. You see, I seem to have the impression, based on my observation, that most young people, teenagers especially, would have the tendency to sing like this. How can I keep from singing? I suspect most young performers would also sing that way too. He didn't do it that way. What I just demonstrated to you was singing from the throat. He, on the other hand, sang from his diaphragm, which technically speaking would lend more power to your voice projection. And it sounds clear too, very crystal clear. If you had to sing from your throat, it would sound a little bit squeaky. And I think I'm going to give you another demonstration as to how it would sound. I'm going to sing something from Mighty Fortress is Our God, starting from moderately high notes. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Now, when you sing from the diaphragm, it's much more. And if you project a lot more power to projecting your voice, it'll sound like this. A mighty fortress is our God, a bulwark never failing. Now, of course, I am not a professional cantor. I'll have to admit that. But these are demonstrations as to the contrast between singing from your throat and singing from your diaphragm. I would also suspect too that another element that lent to his ability to perform quite powerfully was his level of confidence. If you're the cantor, and this would be especially true if you were a public speaker, you have to be pretty darn confident to speak in front of the audience. Now, even I struggle with that a little too. I sometimes get nervous, but the way he performed indicated that he really knew what he was doing, and I would say that it would give us and should give us an example of how we ought to speak with confidence. The other great thing about this this cantor singer was that he was able to maintain being in tune, which for most people would be a little difficult. This is based on my observation when at church I hear the congregation sing a cappella, and sometimes they would start on one key signature and gradually descend. This would be especially true at adoration. They'll sometimes start at I think it was sometimes start at C major, and then they would gradually descend to B major, and it would probably continue to go that way unless there was an accompanist who could keep them in tune. Mr. Simmons was able to was able to still keep himself in tune. In one of his songs, "Against the Grain," at the closing, he was able to maintain his key signature without descending. Now, I would suspect that either Mr. Simmons has perfect pitch, or if he probably didn't, he would have to have constant practice with maintaining his ability to keep in tune. For my demonstrations of the song "Mighty Fortresses Our God," you notice that I was able to maintain being in C major, as opposed to just simply gradually going down from one key signature to another. The other aspect of Mr. Simmons' performance has to do with the psychological. He was quite passionate about singing. He made mention in one of his little talks in between songs that although he was not raised in a musically talented family, he said that his mother often sung to him when he was a child. And he believes that music brings people together, perhaps because, and the explanation is a little bit beyond my understanding, that people would be remembered in song. This is an aspect I learned in my humanities course, where probably one of the reasons why most stories were often put into song was because it would be easy to be remembered. Because the music interacts with human beings in a way that makes it easier to remember a certain subject when it is put into song. Back to Mr. Simmons, it was said that when his mother was starting to have Alzheimer's, it's a mental condition where you start to gradually lose your ability to remember things. He said music actually brought him and his mother together, even in their last moments. It was said that they would often sing this little Spanish song. I'm not sure what it's called. I think it's "Against the Grain," but I think they must really enjoy singing it. And he said that whenever there was time on this earth to be together, they would sing. For him and his mother, singing may have been some form of pastime that would make a much greater impact in their lives, far more than if they were in front of the television screen watching movies for entertainment. Well, that's it for the night, ladies and gentlemen. I think I did my part of soul searching into the depths of Mr. Joe Simmons' wondrous musical performance at my parish church. This is Davy the Entertainer signing off, and I'm tired and I want to go to bed. Good night, everyone.